Some motorcycles fade away after a few seasons. Others refuse to quit, even after decades of miles, rough owners, and neglected maintenance. Today, we are counting down 18 Japanese motorcycles that riders swear simply do not die. Machines built so tough that many are still running strong long after their competition disappeared. Even better, most of them are sitting on the used market for shockingly low prices. Stick with us, because by the time we reach number 1, you might realize the most dependable bike you could ever own is also one of the cheapest. Number 18. Kawasaki Ninja 650. Kawasaki did not chase trends here. They stuck with a formula that works. At the center is a 649 cubic centimeter parallel twin, tuned for usable power instead of peak numbers. It delivers around 67 horsepower, but more importantly, it delivers it without strain. No sharp edges, no nervous behavior, just a smooth, predictable pull that feels built for years, not weekends. That philosophy carries into ownership. Riders do not talk about constant fixes, they talk about riding. Oil changes, tires, and miles that quietly build into the tens of thousands without drama. That is the difference between a bike that excites you briefly and one that stays with you. Now here is where value enters the conversation. Brand new, these bikes typically start around $7,500 and climb just over $8,000 with ABS and modern features like traction control and a full TFT display. But the real story lives in the used market. Early models often sit between $3,000 and $4,500. Mid-cycle versions land closer to $5,000 to $6,000. Even newer examples regularly 𝐑𝐈𝐃𝐄𝐑 below original pricing. That drop is not a warning sign, it is the result of sheer volume. Kawasaki built a lot of these. Parts are everywhere. Mechanics understand them. Ownership stays simple. If discovering cheap motorcycles that can survive years of real riding is exactly why you are here, hit that like button, drop a hype in the comments, and subscribe. That kind of support is what keeps this channel focused on honest motorcycle breakdowns that actually save riders money and regret. The Ninja 650 does not chase speed records. It quietly becomes the bike that outlasts expectations. But sport bikes are still built around performance. Riders rev them harder, ride them faster, and naturally put more stress on the engine. So what happens when a motorcycle is designed for the opposite philosophy, slower, cooler, and more relaxed over decades? That question points us toward a laid-back Japanese V-twin cruiser built specifically for longevity. Number 17. Yamaha Vstar 650. If reliability had a shape, it would not be aggressive or complicated. It would look a lot like the Yamaha Vstar 650, simple, steady, and built with zero interest in proving anything. While other bikes chased horsepower and headlines, Yamaha took a different path. They built a cruiser meant to last. At its core is a 649 cubic centimeter AIR-cooled V-twin, producing roughly 40 horsepower. Not exciting on paper, but that is exactly the point. The engine is understressed, relaxed, and designed to run year after year without pushing its limits. Then there is the shaft drive. No chain maintenance, no constant adjustments, just fewer moving parts and fewer things to go wrong over time. Ownership reflects that philosophy. Riders do not talk about breakdowns. They talk about how little the bike asks from them. Basic maintenance, occasional service, and miles that quietly ADD up. Ergonomically, it stays true to its cruiser roots. Low seat, relaxed reach, and a riding position that favors comfort over urgency. When new, these typically SAT between $8,000 and $9,000. Today, clean US examples commonly fall between $2,000 and $5,000, with many landing even lower. The Vstar 650 is not built to impress, it is built to outlast. But cruisers achieve that longevity by sacrificing versatility. They are great for relaxed riding, yet not always ideal for riders who want one motorcycle to do everything. So the search moves toward a machine that keeps the toughness of a V-twin, but places it in one of the most balanced all-around platforms ever built. Number 16. Suzuki SV 650. Some motorcycles win attention with speed or styling. Others earn something far more valuable over time: trust. The Suzuki SV 650 built its reputation the slow way. through years of dependable riding. At its center sits a 645 cubic centimeter, 90-degree V-twin, an engine layout naturally smooth and remarkably durable. Instead of chasing extreme horsepower, Suzuki tuned the motor for strong mid-range pull and everyday usability. The result feels relaxed rather than stressed, which is exactly why so many examples quietly accumulate huge mileage with little more than routine maintenance. That durability helped the SV become a favorite among commuters, beginners, and weekend track riders alike. Few motorcycles manage to satisfy all three groups at once. A brand new SV650 ABS typically lists around $8,150, while used examples often appear between $3,000 and $7,000 depending on age and condition. We have already seen a few machines that riders trust to rack up serious mileage, but reliability stories usually get interesting once the odometer climbs. Have you ever owned a bike that just refused to quit, no matter how many miles you put on it? If one comes to mind, share it in the comments. Riders looking for dependable used bikes often learn the most from real ownership stories. The SV650 is famous for that balance. Its liquid-cooled V-twin is incredibly durable, and the lightweight chassis makes it remarkably versatile. But its lively personality also encourages riders to push it harder, higher revs, and more spirited riding. So riders chasing maximum longevity sometimes return to a different idea entirely: a larger cruiser engine designed to work far below its limits. Number 15, Honda Shadow 750. Some motorcycles fight to stay relevant, others never have to. The Honda Shadow 750 has spent decades proving that when a machine is built right the first time, it does not need reinvention. At its core sits a 745 cubic centimeter, liquid-cooled V-twin, tuned for steady, low-end pull. The power arrives smooth and unhurried, never strained, never rushed. That relaxed character matters because engines that are not pushed tend to last, and the Shadow has built its reputation on exactly that kind of long-term durability. Now, this kind of relaxed, long-lasting engine design is impressive, but a few bikes later in this countdown, we will come across a machine that takes durability in a completely different direction, proving that long-term reliability does not always have to come from playing it safe. Ownership stays just as straightforward. Simple engineering, minimal complexity, and a riding position that feels natural the moment you settle in. It is the kind of bike that works with you, not against you. New models land around the high $8,000 range, while used examples typically fall between $2,500 and $7,500. But that easygoing design also means performance takes a backseat, which raises an interesting question. Can you have serious sport bike power and the durability Japanese motorcycles are known for? That question is what opens the door to the next machine in our story. Number 14, Yamaha FZ6. Some motorcycles disappear when the next version shows up. Others stick around long after production ends, carried forward by riders who know exactly what they have got. The Yamaha FZ6 lives in that space, a machine that blends sport bike roots with everyday dependability in a way that still feels rare. At its heart is a 600 cubic centimeter inline-4, derived from the R6 but retuned for real roads. The power builds smoothly, never frantic, never demanding. It pulls clean through the range, giving you performance when you want it without constantly pushing the engine to its limits. That balance is what keeps these motors running strong, year after year. Ergonomics land right in the middle, slightly forward but never punishing, comfortable enough for distance, engaging enough to stay interesting. When new, it sat just under $7,000. Today, clean used examples usually fall between $2,500 and $5,500. But even the toughest street bikes share one major limitation: they live their lives on pavement. And when riders start talking about motorcycles that truly never die, the conversation eventually shifts toward machines built to survive rough roads, remote places, and thousands of unpredictable miles, which is exactly why attention turns to the next machine. Number 13, Kawasaki KLR 650. Some motorcycles are built for speed, others are built for survival. The Kawasaki KLR 650 belongs firmly in the second category, and that reputation is exactly why it holds this place in the countdown. Introduced in the late 1980s, the KLR 650 followed a very different philosophy from most modern machines. At its center sits a 652 cubic centimeter single-cylinder engine, designed for endurance rather than excitement. Low compression, simple mechanics, and minimal electronics create an engine that tolerates hard miles in rough environments without complaint. That rugged simplicity is why riders trust the KLR on journeys that stretch far beyond paved highways. From desert crossings to cross-country adventures, stories of these machines reaching enormous mileage with basic maintenance are incredibly common. The price only strengthens its appeal. A new KLR 650 typically starts around $6,900, while used examples frequently appear between $2,000 and $5,000 depending on generation and condition. But that rugged design comes with compromises on the road. Dual sports prioritize durability and off-road ability, not smooth highway comfort. So riders who want legendary longevity on pavement often look toward the next machine, whose reliability story started decades earlier. Number 12, Honda CB750. Some motorcycles last, some become legends. The Honda CB750 did both and then kept going. When it arrived, it reset expectations. A smooth inline four, electric start, and everyday usability, all wrapped in a package that riders could trust. But what truly built its reputation was not speed, it was survival. Honda engineered this engine to run with less stress, less vibration, and more mechanical balance. The result? Machines that did not wear out, they endured. Even today, decades later, many still run with basic upkeep. That kind of longevity is not accidental. It is overbuilt by intention. Pricing tells the rest of the story. While the modern successor sits near $8,000 new, original CB models on the used market typically range from under $2,000 for projects to around $9,000 for clean examples. The CB750 did not just define an era, it quietly outlived it. But motorcycles and the distances riders travel have changed. If the CB750 proved Japanese engines could last, the next step was building a machine designed specifically for massive highway mileage. Number 11, Yamaha FJR 1300. Some motorcycles chase excitement for a season. Others are engineered to cross states, years, and odometers without complaint. The Yamaha FJR 1300 manages to do both. When Yamaha introduced the FJR in the early 2000s, it was not simply chasing sport bike speed. It was building a machine meant to travel enormous distances without wearing down its rider or its engine. At the center sits a 1,298 cubic centimeter inline four tuned for smooth torque and mechanical longevity rather than constant high rev drama. Earlier, we mentioned that some motorcycles achieve durability by playing it safe, but that a few machines take a completely different approach. This is exactly what we were referring to. The FJR 1300 delivers serious performance while still maintaining the kind of reliability long-distance riders depend on. That calm strength is why many examples quietly accumulate extraordinary mileage among long-distance riders. When new late-model FJR 1300 ES versions listed around $17,999. Today, used prices often fall between $3,500 and $9,000. But touring motorcycles like the FJR are built primarily for paved roads, and for riders who want a bike that can travel just as far while also leaving the highway behind, the search often turns towards something more adaptable. That curiosity pushes the spotlight onto the next direction in this countdown, a motorcycle that blends touring endurance with real adventure capability. Number 10. Suzuki V-Strom 650. Some motorcycles chase trends. Others are built to keep going long after those trends fade. The V-Strom 650 belongs firmly in that second group, a machine that has earned its reputation not through hype, but through years of steady, dependable miles. At its core is a 645 cubic centimeter V-twin, shared with the SV platform, but tuned for balance and real-world usability. The power delivery feels calm and predictable, with a strong mid-range that does not strain the engine. That restraint is exactly why these bikes routinely stack serious mileage without turning into maintenance headaches. Comfort plays a big role here. Upright, spacious, and easy on the body, it is built for long days without fatigue, whether you are on pavement or exploring rougher roads. New models sit around the $9,000 range, while used examples commonly fall between roughly $3,000 and $8,000. But its off-road focus can feel unnecessary for riders who spend nearly all their time on pavement. So for riders searching for the next answer, something just as reliable but tuned more directly for everyday road riding, attention often shifts toward a machine built on the same middleweight durability philosophy, but aimed squarely at pavement. And that shift leads us to the next machine in the countdown. Number 9, Honda CBR 600F4i. Some sport bikes chase lap records for a few seasons. Others quietly prove they can survive decades. The Honda CBR 600F4i became famous for doing exactly that. When Honda released the model in the early 2000s, it balanced super sport excitement with everyday usability. At the center sits a 599 cubic centimeter fuel-injected inline-4, one of the earliest middleweight sport engines to adopt electronic fuel injection. Instead of brutal peak power, Honda tuned it for smooth delivery and mechanical stability. That approach paid off. Commuters, stunt riders, and track day regulars pushed these bikes hard. Yet countless examples are still running today. When new, the CBR 600F4i sold for roughly $8,400. Today, used prices usually range between $2,500 and $5,500. And up to this point, we have already looked at sport bikes, cruisers, adventure machines, and everyday commuters that riders trust to keep running long after others give up. So here is something we are curious about. Which Japanese motorcycle do you personally think deserves the reputation of being nearly impossible to kill? Drop your pick in the comments. And while you are there, if you are enjoying this reliability countdown, a like on the video helps more riders discover it too. Now let us get back to the list, because the next bike proves toughness can also come with surprising performance. Number 8, Kawasaki Versys 650. The Kawasaki Versys 650 is one of those machines that quietly proves its worth mile after mile. At its core is a 649 cubic centimeter parallel twin shared with the Ninja platform, but tuned for usable mid-range rather than peak output. The power feels steady, predictable, and easy to manage, the kind that keeps stress low and longevity high. That is why these engines are known for stacking serious miles without complaint. Ergonomically, it is built for real riders. Upright, roomy, and forgiving over long distances, it reduces fatigue instead of adding to it. New models sit just above $10,000, while used examples typically range between $3,000 and $8,000. But lightweight bikes achieve that agility with smaller engines, which raises another idea entirely. What happens when a motorcycle is built around a big, understressed engine that barely has to work? That question opens the door to the next step forward in the countdown. Number 7, Yamaha Super Ténéré. Some motorcycles are built for trips, others are built for conditions. The Yamaha Super Ténéré was engineered for both, and that is why it earns its place this high on the list. At its core is a 1,199 cubic centimeter parallel twin paired with shaft drive, a combination designed to reduce maintenance and increase longevity. No chain upkeep, no unnecessary complexity, just a system built to keep moving mile after mile without interruption. Owners do not measure this bike in short rides. They measure it in distance. High-mile examples are common, not exceptional, because the engine operates with a calm, durable character that avoids unnecessary stress. New, it typically starts around $16,000. But on the US market, values often fall between $5,000 and $13,000, depending on year and condition. The Super Ténéré is not flashy, it is relentless. But that durability comes with weight and complexity. These bikes are engineered for extreme conditions, not for simple everyday ownership. So when riders start prioritizing simplicity over capability, the focus shifts towards something far more stripped back. And that thinking leads directly to the next machine. Number 6, Suzuki Bandit 1200. When Suzuki introduced the Bandit in the 1990s, it built the bike around a proven oil-cooled inline-4 originally derived from earlier sport machines. Instead of pushing the engine to its limits, Suzuki deliberately tuned it for durability. Lower stress, relaxed power delivery, and sturdy internal components created a motor known for running seemingly forever with basic care. That simplicity helped the Bandit earn a reputation for remarkable longevity among everyday riders. When new, the Bandit 1200 typically sold for roughly $7,500 to $8,000. Today, used examples often appear between $2,000 and $5,000. But as capable as the Bandit is, it reveals a different limitation the moment you start riding longer distances. It was not designed for comfort over thousands of miles. So riders chasing true never die. Machines often begin thinking beyond just engine durability toward motorcycles engineered to survive, not just mechanically, but over endless hours on the road. And that shift in thinking opens the door to the next chapter in this countdown. Number 5. Honda Goldwing. This is not a weekend machine. It is engineered for years of use. At its heart sits a flat 6 engine in modern versions, designed for smooth, low-stress operation. Power comes effortlessly, vibrations stay minimal, and components are not pushed to their limits. That is why these bikes do not just last. They accumulate miles in a way few machines can match. It is not unusual to see examples well beyond 100,000 miles still running strong. For a Goldwing, that is not impressive, it is expected. New models typically start around $25,000 and climb past $30,000 when fully equipped. But the used market completely changes the equation. Older models can be found between $2,500 and $5,000, with newer generations stretching higher. The Goldwing is an extreme example of long-term reliability. Its engine can run for decades, and it is built to cross entire countries effortlessly. But that level of comfort and engineering comes with something that directly conflicts with our title: size, complexity, and cost. Even on the used market, these machines are not always the simplest or cheapest to own. So the search for the next answer becomes very clear: a motorcycle that keeps Japanese reliability, but returns to something lighter, simpler, and far more affordable to maintain. Number 4. Yamaha MT-07. Some motorcycles chase horsepower wars. Others change the market by doing something far smarter. The Yamaha MT-07 belongs firmly in the second category, a machine that proved simplicity can still win in the modern era. At the heart of the MT-07 sits Yamaha's 689 cubic centimeter parallel twin, part of the well-known cross-plane 2-engine platform. Instead of chasing extreme output, Yamaha focused on balance. The motor is lightweight, understressed, and mechanically straightforward, delivering strong low and mid-range torque without feeling fragile or overworked. That thoughtful engineering is exactly why the bike has developed a reputation for long-term reliability. Riders are already reporting enormous mileage with nothing more than routine servicing, a rare achievement for a modern performance-focused motorcycle. Even brand new, the value is clear. In the United States, the MT-07 typically lists around $8,599, yet depreciation makes it even more attractive. Early used examples often appear between $4,000 and $6,000, while newer models commonly range from $6,500 to $8,000. The formula is simple: lightweight, durable engineering, and accessible pricing. But lightweight street bikes like the MT-07 are still built for one environment: pavement. And as this countdown narrows toward the most complete answers, one question starts to matter more than ever. What motorcycle can handle long distances, rough terrain, and real-world abuse, and still keep going for years? That question shifts the spotlight toward the next direction: a machine built to go far beyond the road. Number 3. Honda Africa Twin. Some motorcycles are built for roads. Others are built for what happens when the road disappears. The Honda Africa Twin was engineered for that second reality, and that is why its reputation runs so deep. Its origins trace back to the world of endurance rally racing, where machines are not judged by speed alone, but by what they can survive. That philosophy still defines it today. At the center is a parallel twin engine tuned for control and durability, not peak output. Power builds smoothly, components stay within safe limits, and the bike remains composed in heat, dust, and distance. Owners do not just ride these, they cross countries on them. High-mileage examples are common because the platform is built to handle punishment without falling apart. New models typically begin around $15,000 and climb toward $18,000 depending on trim. But the used market opens the door wide, with earlier models often sitting between $7,000 and $15,000. The Africa Twin is not about luxury, it is about trust when conditions turn unpredictable. But as capable as it is, it also highlights something important about this list. Extreme versatility often comes with added complexity. More components, more systems, more things to maintain. So at this point, the question changes again. What if durability does not come from versatility, but from over-engineering something so heavily that it becomes almost impossible to break? That idea leads directly to the next machine, one of the most unexpected entries in this countdown. Number 2, Suzuki Hayabusa. Some motorcycles become popular for a few years, some earn legendary status, and then there are the rare machines that redefine an entire category and somehow refuse to fade away. The Suzuki Hayabusa belongs to that last group. When it arrived at the end of the 1990s, the Hayabusa stunned the motorcycle world. Built around a massive inline-4 and wrapped in wind-cheating bodywork inspired by the Peregrine Falcon, it quickly became the fastest production motorcycle on Earth. But speed alone never explains its lasting reputation. What truly made the Hayabusa famous is durability. Modern versions run a 1,340 cubic centimeter inline-4, engineered to tolerate enormous performance while remaining calm in everyday riding. Because most owners rarely approach its limits, the engine lives a remarkably unstressed life. That's why high-mileage Hayabusas are common across the United States. A brand new model typically lists around $19,399. Yet used examples often appear between $4,500 and $12,000 depending on generation. But there's one final problem if we stay true to the title. A machine can be incredibly durable and still not be the best choice for cheap, simple, everyday ownership. So the final step in this countdown isn't about more power, more size, or more capability. It's about balance. The next answer is the motorcycle that brings everything together: reliability, affordability, simplicity, and real-world usability, without any unnecessary complexity. But before we reveal the number 1 motorcycle on this list, a quick check-in. If you've been enjoying this breakdown of cheap Japanese bikes that just keep going, you might consider supporting the channel with a like. And for those who want to go a little further, becoming a member gives early access to upcoming videos before they go public. All right, let's see which machine takes the top spot. Number 1, Honda CB500X. And finally, the motorcycle that takes the top spot, not because it dominates headlines, but because it quietly solves the problem every rider eventually faces: finding something that lasts without draining your wallet. The Honda CB500X is built around that exact idea. At its core sits a 471 cubic centimeter parallel twin engineered for balance, not stress. The power delivery is smooth, predictable, and never pushed to extremes. That restraint is what allows these engines to run year after year, often piling on miles with little more than routine maintenance. Nothing feels fragile. Nothing feels overworked. Ownership is where it truly stands apart. Light, comfortable, and easy to manage, it adapts to commuting, travel, and everything in between without asking much in return. New models in this class land around the mid-$7,000 range. On the used market, clean examples commonly fall between $3,500 and $5,500. The CB500X isn't built to impress you once. It's built to stay with you. So if you want to keep exploring motorcycles that stand the test of time, the next video is already waiting for you on your screen. Click the video coming up right now. Subscribe and stay connected with riders who care about what truly matters on the road.